Good morning, this fine, cool, misty December North Carolina morning. I'm out here at the forge today trying to get caught up on some Christmas orders, which is why I'm not putting out a lot of videos right now. The algorithm's going to love that, but you know, I've had a lot of things go on recently. First, I injured myself, and Dad died a couple weeks ago. I've been tied up with that, and I'm a full-time paramedic as well as a full-time blacksmith, so my full-time is cut in half. But anyway, trying to get some Christmas orders out. I'm going to try to do a video here and again when I get a chance. Today, I've got an order for a chef's knife. Wanted something in the 6-ish inch blade range, so a smaller chef's knife. It's probably going to be a little longer than that. I'm just going to put a hammer to it and see what it turns out like. But I've got a piece of 3/16 1095 high carbon steel. I've cheated in that I've already rounded the edges so I can hammer the point better without getting a cold shut, without getting fish lips. We're going to get it hot, put it on the anvil and smash it and see what happens. All right, we're going to start out by drawing the blade down to a point. And as you can see, I had rounded the edges of the bar stock, rounded the corners down, and that's saving me from having to chase those corners to keep them from squeezing together and leaving a cold shut in the tip of the blade. What I'm looking for is a taper to run from the heel of the knife, almost just a straight taper all the way to the point of what's going to be the blade. Work the taper down, work the thickness back. Got to make sure we keep that thickness even. Almost let it get a little bit out of kilter, and now I'm having to kind of chase it down. I'm going to mark what I want to be the length of the blade. Make sure our taper's long enough. Nice and even. Get it warm again. Now we're going to mark what's going to be the heel of the blade to the handle and start forging that down. And you can see how the back of the handle is really turning up there as I forge it down. I'm not worried about that because, as shown, that's plenty easy to straighten back out. Start working a little bit of profile into the handle. Don't want anything too fancy on this. It's getting pretty close. As usual, I had too much steel, so I'm going to have to cut some of that off, but that's okay. Make sure everything's nice and flat and even. Need to knock that little lump down. Do that right here. All right. We're going to measure for our handle length and mark it with a cold chisel. Get down the hardy cutter. See if the blade's warm enough. Yep, it is. Now we'll just whip it off. go. And go back to evening it up. Make sure the profile's good. Not really concerned about forging the hilt to shape. I'll just do that on the grinder on this one. Yep, ink's good. Now we're going to put our reverse curve in so we don't end up with a long sweeping curved blade. Try to keep a little of the scale off. And start drawing out our bevels. I always prefer to start at the heel of the blade. So once I draw that steel down and get a good square corner, to me that's the easiest way to determine just how wide I'm going to get the entire blade. And this is going to be a little narrow for a chef's knife, but that's okay. It'll be unique. Trying my best to do clean forging so I don't have to do a pile of grinding here. I'm keeping the edge a little thick so I can smooth up my profile later. Not getting in a hurry. Do a little bit at a time, width of the hammerhead at a time. If you start trying to make big forgings, you're going to make big mistakes. Just going to work a little at a time until we get the blade where we want. And it's getting there. With a long blade like this, you can really see how forging the bevels down straightens that reverse curve out. It's looking pretty good. Clean up our profile a little. Make sure everything's good and straight. And this is one of those things that a person can fiddle with forever. But once it's good enough, it's good enough. All depends on how much grinding a person wants to do. And I'm pretty happy with that. It'll do. Hello folks, again. I actually finished this one up. Needs a good wipe down. Got a little oil on the blade from where I've been oiling the handles. The blade came out right about 7.5. And it's nice and light, very sharp. It's going to make a great cutting tool for the kitchen. Got walnut handles, brass pins. Client should be happy with that. If you're still here, thanks very much for watching. Be sure and hit that like button. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. Have a great night and God bless.